hi guys, we have Miss Lucia here, who's from the Embassy of Slovakia. Pleasure meeting Miss Lucia.
Nice to meeting
And
you.
thanks a lot for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Miss Lucia, we had a very interesting conversation just before the interview. You spoke about the relations between China and Slovakia.
Yes.
And can you please, shed some light on it? How is it progressing? And what all things can be seen in the coming future?
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for your time and inviting me for this interview. I would like to highlight the first thing between China and Slovakia. We have signed a strategic partnership in 2024 when Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico came to Beijing and met with President Xi Jinping. Since that time on, we can see the progress in terms of our trade relations and also on project-oriented relations or the future. Slovakia, just to give you a brief introduction, our main industry composition consists of the automotive industry. Approximately 11% of our GDP is created by the automotive industry, so we have a very strong base. And in terms of the numbers per capita, we are the world's largest producer of cars. Our population is 5.5 million, and we produce over 1 million cars annually. So you can imagine, we gained a lot of new knowledge about the EV supply chain, where China is heading to, and what we have to focus on, because being the traditional car producer in Europe, we have to see the forthcoming future and to be able to adjust the transform our economy to become more EV oriented, and currently the government is also adjusting and implementing the policies towards the easier transformation.
Right.
Yeah.
And what gaps do you see, that Slovakia currently has, because of which you need to, let's say, have Chinese companies, or you need to partner with China to fill those gaps? So what are these gaps that you've observed and seen so far?
Okay. First of all, we acknowledge China is the largest and the most important EV car producer in the world currently. This is the fact that we all know. And what we can do about it, our companies, we are focusing on the long-term partnership with China, especially in the supply chain industry. Our companies are looking or seeking the opportunities here in China, not only through these expos, attending the expos to understand more the latest trends in the EV car industry, but it's also looking or attending, trying to discuss their future prospects towards the European market. Slovakia is the member of the European Union. We use the euro currency, and we offer very favorable conditions for the Chinese investors to come and establish their business in Slovakia.
Right.
But let me put it from different perspective. On one hand, we are searching for the stable partnership with the Chinese EV companies, not only creating the basic manufacturing supply chain, but mostly what we are looking at is the highly added value chain. It means the EV car not consists only the spare parts, but the main brain lays in the softwares. And this is where we come. We offer highly skilled labor with a long tradition and with a great experience in automotive. And we have young talents who are actually interested to develop the EV industry, So obviously, we wish that Chinese companies could come and create more R&D centers, so we can both focus on specific project or developing a different, systems in the cars.
Right.
Yeah.
You very rightly mentioned about the R&D, importance of R&D,
Yes.
which is which plays a huge part in growing any industry, not just EV, but any
That's
industry.
true.
And you are focusing on taking support from Chinese companies and organizations to set up an R&D there in Slovakia.
Yes.
Beyond this, digressing from the topic a little bit, what are the other industries which Slovakia is partnering with China, and other than automotive, and how has that been progressing?
Okay. Just to inform you, recently Slovakia and China has concluded partnerships in very strategic place, and it's the production of the EV car batteries. It's a gigafactory that it's on the way to be built in Slovakia. And this is already one of the most important part to establish the EV supply chain and the whole ecosystem. So this is first. Secondly, we received Chinese investment from the Geely company, Volvo Geely company, which has settled down on the eastern part of Slovakia, near Košice, which is the second largest city in Slovakia. And on the way, there is also another company who would like to establish the EV ecosystem and the supply chain in Slovakia. They just concluded the feasibility study. So let me put it in other words. Slovakia and China's bilateral trade is mostly oriented in automotive industry and the automotive spare parts.
Because of the expertise.
Of course, yes.
And secondly, since you mentioned, that Slovakia, it's part of Europe, like we all know it.
Yes, yeah.
And Europe is huge. And considering the different climatic conditions in different countries in Europe, and different let's say psychological differences in the citizens, etc. So how do you balance the policies which are framed in Europe for Europe,
Yes.
in your benefit as Slovakia, and also work with countries from outside Europe and collaborate? So there must be certain balance that you need to maintain.
Of course.
So how do you manage it?
I think we manage it very well. Most of our car production goes for export. And we are very strategically oriented in terms of location, because we are located in the center of Europe, which means we offer a great position towards the countries throughout the whole European Union, to Germany, to Italy, to France, to Spain. And with our expertise, which I already mentioned before, we can offer full support and offer many advantages from the government's perspective for the foreign direct investors. And most importantly, our government focuses on the locations which are maybe less developed. There are specific regions in Slovakia which are less developed, and in these places, the investors may receive some subsidies from the government, and it's very attractive for the foreign investors. So this way, we balance the situation, and we are considered as one of the most open economy through within the whole Europe.
Okay, nice,
Yes.
amazing. Thanks a lot for your time. It was pleasure interacting with you.
Very nice to meet you.